Okay, ladies. Order, order, order in the courts. Order, order, order in the courts. This episode of Funky Dineva Live is in memorandum and to homage of the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Now, y'all know I love a good old role play. So y'all know we gonna have to go through what this chapter meeting was like before these ladies decided to book Trick Daddy Dollars. So here we go. Order, order, order in the courts. Okay, girls, so listen, we're doing the South Atlantic Regional Conference, and I'm thinking because it's Florida, and you know, like a lot of us went to college in the Florida area, in the Georgia, Carolina area, that we should do an old nasty homage to the 90s and the early 2000s, and I have just got an ingenious idea. Listen, we don't have that much money in the budget for entertainment, so I was thinking if we get some regional artists, you know, lower level regional artists that don't have to travel far, then maybe we could really put on a good conference. It could be crunk, it could be fun, we can be sophisticated. Okay, girl, so what you was thinking, Tiffany, girl? Well, listen, okay, like I slept on this and I'm thinking, listen, ladies, headlining Trick Daddy Dollars, Uncle Luke, and none other than JT Money. Ooh, girl, I don't know. I don't know how the older women gonna take that. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll talk to them in advance. We'll have them do the radio versions. It's cheap. It'll be fine. Okay, now, next order of business. Order in the courts. Who would like to be over the strolls? We need 3 strolls to go to Trick Daddy. I'll do it. Okay. Girl, give us what you got. Okay, ladies, line up. Rear back. Okay, ladies. Rear back. Bow down. Kneel for Alpha. Are you ready? Here is the first one. I'm an old freaky old sneaky old geeky ass nigga. Collard green neck bone eating ass nigga. Always wearing my jeans, baggy, saggy, South Florida boy, South Kakalaki. You got that, ladies? Okay. Here is the next one. We're gonna spice it up. This one is a little more advanced. Okay, this is to tonight. Girl, you got a big old ass and bow leg and fire head and all the shit that I want. Sexy motherfucker, act like you want it right now. Let a nigga know. Is we gon' fuck tonight? My dick is getting rock hard. Oh my God, it's gonna be some fucking tonight. Take the panties off and pull them bullshits to the side. Is we gon' fuck tonight? Okay, ladies. And the last one. You ready? We're gonna do this one. You don't know now how. That's been the places I've been. Who can spend the grants that I spend? Fuck that 5, 6 best friends. You don't know now. Like, seriously, ladies. Alpha Kappa Alpha. In all seriousness, that was the catalog of Trick Daddy Dollars. Okay, I don't know what world any reputable, AKA professional woman with any sense about herself, thought that any version of any type of Trick Daddy song from either of his albums would have been appropriate for an AKA conference. I don't give a good goddamn if Trick Daddy was escorted to the stage with a playlist and Big Bird being his MC. There is no world where Trick Daddy would have ever been an appropriate artist for a conference. So for those of you guys who don't know what's going on, baby, the AKA set it off this weekend. They had their conference down in Orlando, and word on the street is Trick Daddy got up on that stage with all the vulgarity. The older women ended up walking out. They ended up cutting the concert short. And let me give y'all a snippet of what it was that was going on.
Hey man, I flew out to Orlando to see Trick Daddy. Who is that? Man, this is not the Trick Daddy I remember. They're about to give my mama a heart attack. What did he say? Everybody leaving. What's going on?
This motherfucker.
What did he say?
You all my ladies run this motherfucker.
What? Everybody in here 60 years old. What is he talking about?
Sexy motherfucker.
Oh, they done shut the concert down. I told y'all he up there doing too much. Y'all know they passed their bedtime. It's about 10:30. They done shut it down. They done shut down the concert.
Let's give Trick Daddy a round of applause.
Trick Daddy is 60 years old talking about what?
So immediately following this concert, guys, the regional director of Alpha Kappa Alpha, she sent out a letter, an internal letter, I'm assuming just to the women of the sorority, and somehow the letter made it to the internet. Because I don't have my glasses right now and I don't want to chop this segment up, I can't read it because I can't see it. But in the letter, I'm paraphrasing here, she put, they met up with Trick Daddy, that they gave him an advanced playlist and that he went rogue and that the performance that he did was inconsistent with their brand and their values. Well, Trick Daddy, he says otherwise. He didn't like what Miss Tiffany had to say, and this is Trick's response.
At a regional conference in Orlando, and they booked me to perform. Trick Daddy Dollars. Yeah, they booked me to perform. I want y'all to tell me in the comments, I want to know, when it's time for Trick Daddy to perform at your event, what the fuck do you think he gonna perform? So the girl name is Tiffany Moore something. Tiffany, the director, the Southeast regional director. You should have stayed off social media, put my name involved in there, because I heard you running for some type of office or something. I will get on your ass every day until you won't motherfucking win. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. That's right. So I'm performing for the AKAs, and yeah, I do jump on the D. That's one of my records. You should have known that when you booked me. But don't put out no statement talking about you told me what the motherfucker, you gave me a playlist. You can't give me no motherfucking playlist. This ain't your wedding. Fuck wrong with you? I ain't no shorty. I ain't no little ass boy. Anybody that was in that sedity and was sanctified, they should not been in there once I grabbed that.
And let me tell y'all something. I don't care what nobody say. I stand with Trick Daddy. I don't care how many advance warnings. I don't care how many meetings. Anybody from South Florida already know Trick Daddy is ignorant as all hell. He specialized in ignorance. It is a special type of ignorance that runs through Trick Daddy veins. And you should have known that he was not going to be a safe act to book. Now, Miss Tiffany, I don't know you from a can of paint, and Lord knows I would never do anything to go out my way to try to jeopardize anybody's career. But the word on the curb is you was running for mayor. And I'm going to tell you something. You might want to keep your money. You might just want to keep your money because this right here demonstrated that you don't have good judgment. And if we can't trust you to run the conference, we damn sure can't trust you to run the city. And Lord knows, I hope your opponent don't use this as no soundbite against you because, fam, that was not what I was trying to do. But you should have known better than this. Then to top it off, coming behind Trick Daddy was Uncle Luke and JT Money. Now, I put on Instagram that the K's probably... before Luke even took the stage, I said the K's probably should pay Luke and pay JT Money in full and don't allow them to perform because from an optical perspective, it is not going to look good. It is going to look like the AKAs put on a ratchet, lewd rap concert, okay? And that's exactly what it looks like. Because I'm going to tell you something. Even though Uncle Luke is running for Congress and he got a little more couth about himself, and we're not going to expect Luke to go rogue because of what he's trying to accomplish, listening to or viewing all these AKAs bouncing and shaking their shoulders and going off to Luke doesn't help the case. Take a look. Listen, I told y'all a long time ago the AKAs wasn't nothing but some old ass hoes. I told y'all. And I know all my AKA friends go be blowing me up. They some old whores, okay? They bougie on the front and real ratchet deep down on the inside. And now listen, it ain't nothing wrong with nobody having a good time. But Lord, I promise y'all, these performances probably should have been slated for an unofficial club after party situation and not at the conference. What happened to us going to our conference safe people? Fantasia, even though they don't tricked her ass to get into Sigma Gamma Rho, but that's because she couldn't read. Fantasia didn't know what she was signing up for. She didn't know no better when she went over there with the Sigma Gamma Rho girls. I promise y'all. So charge it to her head and not to her heart, because she never even went to college. Because if she did, she would have never joined Sigma Gamma Rho. But nevertheless, she there now. What happened to going and getting Sigma Gamma Rho Tasia? What happened to going and getting Ashanti? Okay, who else? Hell, it was a South Florida region. Y'all could have resurrected Betty Wright. Y'all could have spent that money and got a hologram of Betty Wright. Okay, y'all could have went and got anybody other than Trick Daddy. And see, now I hate what's going to happen, because those of us who are in Greek letter organizations, we already know how nationals do once some shit like this happens. Nationals is going to overcorrect. One bad apple is finna spoil it for the bunch. Because now what's about to happen is Nationals probably going to be like, before y'all can have any entertainment, it's got to be approved through Nationals. And now that all that's going to do is add another layer of red tape and bureaucracy and hold up and time constraints when people are trying to do things in the organization. So Tiffany, thank you for messing it up for everybody, because that's what you did, sis. You don't mess it up for everybody. Whereas the people used to be able to book somebody, pay the check, and come on. Now they got to send a fax to Nationals. Then they got to make sure National Fish at her desk. Then you got to make sure National Fish had her coffee. Then you got to make sure National Fish ain't got to fly to regionals and ain't got to fly to the other regionals before she check her emails. Then when she get back and check her emails, she got 400 other emails because they don't haze somebody in Valdosta, somebody don't died in California, somebody don't had a seizure in Florida, so she can't even get to the email. After they clear up all of that, then she got to go to court because the Dallas chapter is on trial. Then once she finished with that, she got to come back and sign all the backlog purchase orders that's been on her desk. Then she got to go to the meeting because they bringing the line through. She got to be there. She got to do all this stuff before she can even get to your email to approve Salt and Pepper performing at the next thing. Thank you for messing it up for everybody, Miss Tiffany Moore. And with that, y'all, welcome to Funky Dineva Live. Y'all give me 3 minutes. I need to run down to my car and get my glasses because I can't see. Hold the line, horse. Hold the line. Here I come. Woo. Y'all got my old ass out of breath. But listen, did I get it right or did I get it right? Set it off, I suggest y'all replace her ass because she leading y'all ass straight to hell, all my AKAs. Anyway, I hope y'all had a great Easter weekend. And where the Deltas at? Where the Deltas at? Where they at? Listen, I love everybody. All the AKAs. I love y'all. It's all love. It's just a little bit of parody. We just poking fun. Do me a favor. Save all your comments about, oh, it's so disrespectful. He's throwing up the Ivy and all. Girl, save all of that. Because I wouldn't have never had an opportunity to be disrespectful had Tiffany never made that disrespectful decision. So don't start in the middle. Don't let your upset start with me in the middle. Talking about he supposed to be fam, he supposed to be this, and he making fun. Don't let your discourse start in the middle. Let your discourse start at the beginning. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Them Deltas is some short-haired, strong-back, truck-driving lesbians. They is. But they don't make these types of decisions when it comes to their organization, okay? That's why y'all president walked out and founded Delta Sigma Theta. Y'all president walked out and y'all regional director about to get kicked out of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Nevertheless, y'all, let's just jump on into the show, y'all. Y'all don't forget, we going down to Carousel in July. For anybody who want to go to Carousel, y'all go to the website, funky.neva.com and all of this. You know what? The Deltas really quickly, y'all so disrespectful. Because I used to love that chant. In 1908, you thought you were the best. Your 22 founders wouldn't settle for less. In 1913, they envisioned something greater. Your president walked out and founded Delta Sigma Theta. That is so rude. That is so rude. I'll never forget being an undergrad. The first time I seen the Deltas do that, I was like, oh my God, they gonna start fighting in the union. Your president walked out and founded Delta Sigma Theta. And y'all, regional about to get kicked out of Alpha Kappa Alpha. All right. Going back, Lord, it just can't get no better for the K's. And I promise you, I didn't line it up like this. Tiffany killed the conference, and this AKA killed them people in that car accident. Lord have mercy. And she damn near killed her career messing around with Rodney Jerkins. In Brandy's new book, Phases, she talks about a fight that her and Darkchild had in the studio, that they would argue like brother and sister or whatever. And in this one particular argument, Darkchild, in Brandy's words, cut her really deep. And he said, go do what you're going to do while I go sell 5 million records with Beyonce. And from that moment on, marked the end of Brandy and Darkchild's hit-making collaboration. Now, Brandy and Darkchild made some really, 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 really good songs together, especially on that, I think it's the Full Moon album. They really did some good work together. And, you know, Brandy speaks about how this really hurt her. I've been looking at a lot of conversation online and people have been speculating. Somebody said Brandy is the AKA. I didn't know. Yeah, she was inducted honorary several years back. Brandy is definitely a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. I don't know why Tiffany didn't call Brandy, seeing as though Brandy trying to sell this book. She could have got up there and did I Want to Be Down. That would have been so much better than, girl, you got a big old ass and bold legs and fire head and all that shit that I like. Sexy motherfucker, act like you want it right now, so let a nigga know. Is we gon' fuck tonight? My dick is getting rock hard. Oh my God. It's gonna be some fucking tonight. Take the panties off or pull them bullshits to the side. Is we gon' fuck tonight? Tiffany. Girl. Tiffany, I want to know, how did you expect Trick Daddy to clean any of that up? Let me move on from the case. Nevertheless, there was a lot of conversation online just speaking about what Brandy could have possibly been feeling. Now, I'm going to say this. I know that Beyonce has probably got to be sick and tired of always being mentioned when it don't have anything to do with her, right? But I want to tell y'all something. I want to raise a bigger perspective here. This is the music industry's fault. Because for whatever reason, something happened where we only allowed Beyonce through, then we kind of gave Rihanna a little bit, and then we didn't let nobody else have nothing. It was Beyonce, it was Rihanna, and then we didn't let nobody else have nothing. So what ended up happening is that everybody that came into the game or that was in the game ends up using Beyonce as the yardstick by which they need to measure their success. And a lot of times it's unfair. You know what I'm saying? It is unfair. I miss the days when we had Janet, Mariah, Whitney, all of these girls coexisted at the same time. We had all of these groups at the same time. When you listen to the radio, baby, all you was getting was hit after girl after girl. And it's like now, you know, you got Beyonce, then you got everybody else down here. Now, don't get me wrong. Beyonce deserves everything she got. She works hard. She puts in the time. I'm not taking that away from her. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that the machine could not have gotten behind a few more girls so we could have had some healthy competition in the market. The machine had already did it once before. It's already been done once before. We had Janet, Mariah, Whitney, and I can't think of a couple other girls. All of those girls, they coexisted at the same time. Those girls was going at each other's necks. Okay, one drop an album in January, another one drop an album in June. All of them girls was touring, had the radio going on. Now I see a lot of women in the group. I mean, a lot of people in the chat saying colorism. Could be. Most definitely could be a factor. I'm not prepared right now to dig all the way into all of that. I want to keep things light. And while Brandy wasn't comparing, somebody said she wasn't comparing. I know that I forgot Toni Braxton was in the mix, Madonna, all of those people, Aaliyah, all those girls was in the mix, Brandy and Monica, everybody was in the mix. So the market can sustain multiple girls being in the mix. For whatever reason, music shifted and we, made her Jesus of music, and now everybody else are just low-level disciples. Nevertheless, this hurt Brandy. It hurt her to her core, and she speaks about it in her book. Somebody said it's not Beyonce's fault. Absolutely isn't. I'm not blaming Beyonce, and I'm not trying to imply it's her fault. But I definitely think that the music industry really did the general public a disservice when the machine got solely behind Beyonce and did not make room for there to be other artists that were equally as big. Because we're not going to pretend like Beyonce does not have a machine behind her. She definitely does. And we're not going to pretend like Cardi B would be as big as she is if the machine did not get behind her. We're not going to pretend like Rihanna, because Rihanna is not the best singer on the planet, nor is she the best dancer on the planet. She was edgy and she was fashionable. The machine got behind Rihanna and took her to those levels. So with that being said, anybody can be made a star if the machine gets behind them. Somebody also screamed Sade name. Yes, Sade was in the mix. There was nothing like the 90s. Mary J. Blige was in the mix. All of those girls were in the mix at the same time, and it can be done. And Lord knows we need it to be done again. Moving right along, guys. I'm going to move on to Jaden Ivey. Y'all remember the former Chicago Bulls player that got released from the Chicago Bulls for making some disparaging comments about the NBA having Pride Night. Well, Jaden has come out since that time and saying his wife and family is not supporting him. His wife's come out and said that is not true. But now Jaden is on the street corner preaching the good word of Jesus. Take a listen.
Hey, free you, Jaden Ivey. My boy from the same.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Okay, so I want to take my time with this and I want to let this breathe. And I promise y'all, this is not going to be an anti-Christian rant, and it's not going to be a woe is me, gay people. But I want to say this to y'all, and I want to challenge y'all a little bit to just open your minds and your hearts and follow me here. Something is not right with this man. And one thing that I do not like about the Black community is that a lot of times, all you got to do to make some shit acceptable to the masses is put Jesus in front of it. Okay, somebody put in the chat, religious psychosis. That's exactly what this man is going through right now. And some of y'all fail to see it because it's the word of Jesus. And y'all been so programmed that the minute you hear Jesus, that's right, baby, it's in the word. The word said, the word, it's the word. Okay. The other thing that like y'all like to do is hide y'all homophobia and y'all anti-gay ways behind saying, well, it's the word. It's not me. It's the word. Let me explain to you something. We are in a war with Iran right now. We've got so many more horrific things going on. And this is the hill that he's choosing to die on and lose everything for. If that alone does not tell y'all that this man is having a mental breakdown, I don't know what is. Let's be clear here. Have your religion, but we've got to be honest. Anytime y'all see somebody standing on the street corner with them bullhorns and yelling at people, Jesus saves, and you got to find the Lord, and the Lord is coming back, and is your soul right with God? Come on now, y'all. Y'all know that those people be religious fanatics and that they be crazy. Okay, so I encourage y'all to put your Jesus, your salvation, your Bible to the side just a little bit. I'm not asking you to disrespect it. I'm not asking you to throw it away. I'm not asking you to forsake it. I am asking you to really take Jesus out of the equation for 2 seconds and look at what is going on here. This man is losing it. He is losing it. Coupled with the fact that any and everything that's going on in the world right now, and this is what your soul led you to prioritize. This man, are you prepared for Jehovah's return? Well, if there ain't, he coming back anyway, mother. Okay. Somebody said all of them aren't crazy. I guess I'm not prepared to argue with y'all and y'all Jesus, but something is going on with this man. And those of y'all that are like cheering him on, you're not making it any better when he needs help. Okay. Because I don't believe that Jesus would ask any man who has, and not only a man who has a family, an immediate family, but a man who has an entire family and an extended family that's leaning on him. I don't think that Jesus would ask that man to jeopardize his way of providing for his family. And granted, I understand the NBA paid out his contract. I get it. They paid out his full $10 million or whatever the case may be. But at his lifestyle level and the amount of overhead and responsibility that he has, that's not going to last for a very long time unless they make some modifications very quickly. And that white woman is not about to downside. That white woman is not about to downgrade her lifestyle in order to live a meager one like me and you in order to make that $10 million go very, very, very far. Something is wrong with the young man, y'all. In the name of Jesus, y'all pray for him. Moving right along, y'all. Speaking of basketball, so Glorilla took her father to a Memphis Grizzlies game where she's seen taking pictures with her and whatnot. And Brorilla, who I thought her 15 minutes of fame had been over with, says bruh lights was just turned off a couple days ago, but okay. Listen, Glow, you're going to have to do something about this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't like this at all, and I don't know what the answer is, and I'm almost thinking the answer is to cut this girl a check. Glow, I honestly think your sister is the type that a $50,000 check in the NDA would shut her ass the hell up. it just looks bad, and it's funny, right? Because Glow, she's putting out information, I'm not going to lie, that it is making me look at you a little bit sideways, because if what Brorilla is saying is true, then Glorilla, a lot of this does look performative. And that's why I'm saying she needs to be silenced, because now it's creating a situation where it's casting doubt upon Glorilla. Now, for all we know, he probably just didn't pay the lights and probably had the money. I don't know what it is, but we need her 15 minutes to be up. And Glorilla, I wish you and your team could find some type of way to shut your sister up and to get her ass the help that she needs, because unfortunately, we now live in a world where just being family with somebody or being on the periphery of somebody is now enough to make you a celebrity, especially if you're doing negative interviews with them, so on and so forth. Glow, give this girl $50,000 to make her shut up and go away, or sometimes if you can't beat them, join them. Sometimes you got to bring them in order to shut them up. Glorilla, go buy her a Hyundai Elantra. Go to CarMax and buy your sister a used Malibu with 11,000 miles on it. Glorilla, go put first, last, and security down on the duplex for your sister so she could shut up, and do something nice like sign her up for a tutorer so she can get on here and start talking better. Just do something to show her a little love so she can move on from all of this or whatever, because we tired of hearing about it. And speaking of Memphis, it's so funny how God just arranges these stories. I promise you that I do it in no particular order. LeBron James was down in Memphis playing golf and had some very disparaging things to say about the city of Memphis. Take a listen and then I'm going to talk about it.
Staying at the fucking Hyatt at 41 years old. You think I want to do that shit? Being in Memphis on a fucking random ass Thursday. I'm not like the first guy to even talk about it in the NBA. Like, we all like, you guys have to move. Just go over to Nashville. You got Vanderbilt over there. You got the fucking NASCAR. You got a stadium. Don't they got a hockey team too?
Yeah, Predators.
Yeah. Like, they got everything.
Doesn't look like LeBron's going to be on the Grizzlies anytime soon, so Grizzly fans out there.
Yeah, they know. Their only chance was in 2003 if they would have won the lottery. Give me that. And I might have pulled a Eli Manning and not showed up
For the games.
This hurts my heart to one of the deepest capacities. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to see a black man put on his white performative bill collector voice in front of a group of white men and to shit on a predominantly black, impoverished city. And then he doubled down on it and was like, I mean, I'm from Akron. I don't like to go home either, as if that made it any better, and it made it worse. So let's talk about all the things that make Memphis, Memphis. It's black. It's relatively poor. It's impoverished. And the greater factor that is missing from the conversation in this equation is the fact that, when you have a system that doesn't value black people, they don't pour resources into black cities, areas, towns, municipalities, so on and so forth. Memphis is the way it is, not because it's black and black people are inherently poor, stupid, dangerous savages, Memphis is largely the way it is due to systematic oppression and racism. And then to have a black man stand in front of a group of white men and shit on a predominantly black city, and then to champion removing one of the largest assets and financial assets from that city, LeBron, you gotta do better. And it's a matter of being a bit more conscious, being a bit more intentional, and being a bit more educated. Now, let me be fair here. Let me be fair. When he first said it, I got to be very honest. I was like, I get it. I get it. I do get it. When you are accustomed to being put up in Four Seasons, Ritz-Carltons, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, when you are going to these other larger cities that have these huge high-end corridors that have luxury shopping and luxury hotels and luxury outings, having to socialize and spend your time in Memphis definitely can feel like an out-of-body experience. Why am I here? This is not what I like to do. This is not where I'm used to being. So I totally get it, because there are times that all of us go places and we feel the same way, especially when you are used to living a certain kind of way. So LeBron, I understand the sentiment, but the fact that you did not have enough stand with your people in you to not say something like that out loud in front of a group of white men for their entertainment pleasure, that says a lot about you. It says a lot about you. And especially when, LeBron, you are the type that you have the money, the influence, and the power to help change the infrastructure and make the lives of people in Memphis much better. You know what I'm saying? You have the ability to corral people and get people together in order to bring the types of things that you would like to bring to that city. But to speak on stripping Memphis of it, and then again, like, laughing and putting Memphis down, a predominantly black city, in front of a group of white men, I just don't respect it at all. And it's weird because LeBron probably wasn't even thinking on this wavelength when he said it, and a lot of people probably weren't when they were like, "Hey man, I agree with him." But you gotta look at the bigger picture, especially when you are putting on for these white folks. And one thing that I hate that some of us forget is that the only reason that they give you a seat at the table is because you know how to dribble and you have a lot of money. Because all things constant, when they go back to their cars and they go back to their hometowns, everybody else that look like you, except you, they think something negative of LeBron, and you help add fuel to that fire by shitting on Memphis, giving them a credible soundbite that they can use to justify treating black folks the way that they treat them and looking down. See, look, even LeBron feels the same way about those Negroes in Memphis. Nobody wants to be in Memphis. Like, come on. And listen, I've cracked my jokes about how I don't want to go down to 201 Popular and how I don't want to, throw it down to the bar down in Memphis. I've cracked my jokes. I get it. But at least I did it in the house. At least I did it in the house, and I did it in love, and I did it in jest. You did it in front of them, and not knowing that at the end of the day, LeBron, you ain't nothing but a dribbling coon. You ain't nothing but a dribbling coon, and that's all you'll ever be. I don't give a good goddamn how good you think you are. And please, let you fall out of their good graces. They will hurry up and remind your ass that you ain't nothing but a dribbling coon. Moving right along, guys. Let's go to DaBaby. So a lot of people have been talking about DaBaby, he showed up at a nightclub and there was a young man out there that had pictures of his daughters, and DaBaby did not take too kind to it. Take a look. I turned the music off because I didn't want my monetization to be taken. So he took a look at the pictures and he kept walking. Kind of left the guy feeling awkward or whatever. And he walked on. Now, I want to say this. Since this video has come out, Charleston White, who I rarely look at and I rarely agree with, Charleston White came out and said that the artist goes by the name of B. White. He also said that this artist is a well-meaning local artist that paints pictures for all celebrities and, you know, trying to show love, that he is not some type of pervert, so on and so forth, that he's doing this out of love. But I want to say something in fairness. In fairness to DaBaby, in fairness to DaBaby, that is information that he was not privy to at the time that this person presented these photos. And I think any reasonable person would find somebody showing up with pictures of their kids a little weird. Like it's weird. I'm not the biggest fan of DaBaby, especially after he went on this, you know, LGBT rant and then doubled down with the whole HIV thing. But I'm not going to promise you how. I don't know. You painting pictures of my children, especially like young children, it's a little weird. We now know that the guy was well-meaning after the fact. But I think any reasonable person would have found it to be a little bit uncomfortable. Here is DaBaby's response. I'm sorry.
I'm starting to get on my motherfucking nerves. Talking about Buddy with this painting of my two of my daughters presented to me outside of a nightclub or whatever. First and foremost, I'm not the type of father that I'm not into, like, you know, grown-ass men discussing my daughters, painting pictures of my daughters, taking pictures of my kids. I don't play like that. If you play like that, to each his own. You see what I'm saying? Like, more power to you. Send that nigga a picture of your daughters, let that nigga paint them, and then show him some appreciation. Number two, I'm not no painting of my daughters outside of a nightclub. Number three, you see what I'm saying? You feel a way about, you know, the principles I stand on with my kids and how far I go to protect them. That ain't none of my concern. Be more grateful to it. Let's go.
And so I love this comment that somebody put. He said he should have put all the kids and DaBaby in the picture too. I definitely think putting DaBaby in the picture with the kids would have softened the blow a little bit and would have made it a little bit more acceptable. But see, now I understand why a lot of celebrities do not put their kids online and hide their children. So being Ebony said, it's an original painting. I don't see what's weird about it. What's weird about it is my children are not the celebrity I am. You know what I'm saying? And just, it's weird because, and I don't know, maybe it's a man thing. Maybe it's man language. I don't know, because it's a woman that said that, like, men kind of understand, like, you don't do anything with another man's children, especially his daughters. Like, it's just a little weird. Like, I would have felt uncomfortable. I would have felt uncomfortable too. Like, you, I don't know. You know, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. But it's just a little weird to me. Don't go paint my two little children as a man. Like, come on, like let's really let's put this thing in context. You know, somebody wants to bring you a gift and they bring you a pictures of your children. I don't know. I'm a little weirded out by it. But you know, to each their own. Something else I'm weirded out by. Do y'all know who this is? Drop down in the chat before I say who it is. Y'all put in the chat who this is. I want to see if y'all know who it is. If y'all know who this is, put it in the chat right now. See, y'all ain't even putting it in the chat because y'all don't know who it is. Put in the chat who this is. I'm waiting for somebody to write who it is. Somebody finally got it. Lala. Now, I made a vow to myself that when I got on here, that somebody said Hazel E. To be honest, that's who I thought it was when my friend Katrina Hughes sent this to me. So Lala people, if y'all get mad, send y'all people to fight Trina because she the one who sent me this. I didn't even see this on my own. I made a conscious choice. I said when I got on here that I was not going to go in and let have on Lala because we like Lala. Okay? But Lala, sis, I am saying this with all love. Whatever you did, don't do it again. Lala, whatever you did, don't do it again. You look distorted. You look weathered. You look tattered and torn. You look pulled, plucked, stuffed, and tugged in directions that we didn't even know existed. You were beautiful. You are beautiful. You were always beautiful. And whatever you went and did was unnecessary. Secondly, I don't know how and why y'all sit up in the company of Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner and y'all don't go to the same people that they went to. Now, there's no secret. I do Botox. I've done filler up under my eyes. I put it on Instagram. So listen, I am a fan of maintenance and folks doing whatever they got to do to beautify themselves and to make themselves look more youthful. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm so damn self-righteous that I have not been bit by the bug, because I have. And I do things to my face too. But y'all ain't never seen a day when I don't got on this thing and look distorted because I don't got pumped full of too much Palmer's glue. Lala, whatever you did too much of it. And I'm going to be very honest with you because women, y'all tend to do this thing where y'all ain't honest with each other and y'all gas each other up. Girl, you look good. Girl, you snatched. You look good, girl. Lala, respectfully, you don't look good. This does not look good. This does not look good. Whatever you looked like prior to this, whether you were aging or looking older or not, it looked better than this. Okay? You look unrecognizable. You all up in here, it's not looking good, sis. And this is me talking to you, love, not trying to go in, not trying to embarrass you. You look substantially different. And the verdict is in. It don't look good, sis. Last story on the docket, y'all, because I want to help this woman out. I saw this story about a lady whose apartment is infested with rats in New York City, and it broke my heart. Take a look.
I can see how much this is wearing on you.
It is. I can't sleep. I'm not eating. And if I don't stop this, I'm going to wind up in the hospital. This is what we used last night to catch that other one. We had to put the weights on him, the hammer.
Cora Robinson, armed with a piece of plywood, spends her days trying to defend her home against rats.
I thought it would keep them from running around the baseboard, right? But now what they doing is they just come, they so big they jumping over it.
They certainly don't look small. Miss Robinson took these photos of at least 2 rats rummaging around her kitchen Friday night. Any hope of hosting for Easter went right out the window.
I'm tired of cleaning poop off the stove. You know, I mean, it's terrible. And if you turn the oven on, it smells like them.
Miss Robinson took this video of one of the rodents sitting on her countertop in the fall. She says she's been dealing with this infestation for almost a year now.
I can see how much this is wearing on you.
It is. I can't sleep. I'm not eating. And if I don't stop this, I'm going to wind up in the hospital. I almost wound up there yesterday.
The breast cancer survivor already deals with health issues and is worried about what she and her small dog are being exposed to.
Her food and her bed and water are in my bedroom. I can't leave it out here because they'll get into it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm just done. I'm just so disgusted.
She's filed complaints with the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development, which according to documents has cited the landlord in the past.
Hi, who am I speaking with?
We left a message for Asden Management and emailed the landlords, all of which were the respondents in a tenant lawsuit in 2023 that alleged unlivable conditions at 1777 Grand Concourse. The tenant's lawyer says the case is still pending.
Miss Robinson says she would love to just move out of her building, but at 71 years old, she just can't afford to. She says something is very wrong in this city if a senior can't live comfortably.
All these people need to come and take a look and smell. Okay? That's what I wish they would do.
You know, I don't know why, for whatever reason, and looking at the type of show that we had today, this story doesn't even flow with the context of the show. But I just felt something pulled at my heart because I saw my aunt in this woman. I did. You know, my aunt, before we moved her to the nursing and her health or whatever, I found out that her apartment was infested with roaches. And so I had to swoop in and, you know, try to find her another apartment. And unfortunately, her health declined. And the apartment that I found her in Pembroke Pines, I ended up letting go because she ended up moving to assisted living and subsequently the nursing home or whatever the case may be. But I saw my aunt in this woman. Somebody who was living where they're living because that's where they can afford to live. Somebody who doesn't want to make a big stink. Somebody that just wants to be left alone to live out the rest of their days. You can look at this lady and see her heart. She had a Jose Cuervo up there on the counter. That lady like to smoke her cigarettes, drink her liquor, and she don't bother nobody. I could look at this lady and tell she's a very good woman. And her crying, it gave me like New York, an internal cry. The landlords, they're slumlords. I don't know if all of the residents in the building have got the gusto to get on the same page, but the building looks pretty big. Y'all need to withhold rent. If y'all withhold rent just 1 week, rent due on the 1st, you let the 7th roll around and they don't get rent from nobody, they'd been came out and did something about it. Now, New York, I don't live in New York. And when I went to Florida State University and got my degree in economics, they didn't teach me nothing about fish and wildlife. Okay? So I don't know if you can put a tent over a building that big. I don't know if you put pellets. I know in New York that they say people buy cats and the cats keep the rats out. But if we can send a rocket to the moon, we can eradicate that building from them damn rats. And they need to do something ASAP about this. Hold rent, hold rent, hold rent. I really hope that, you know, and here's the other thing. When you start talking about moving, some people don't want to move. Some people like their neighborhood. They got their little bodega that they go to. They got their neighbors. They got their friends. It's clear that she's a single woman at 79 years old. You know what I'm saying? She may not want to move, and she should not have to move. Y'all need to clean up the place. And them is some big ass rats. Them is some big ass rats. So I don't know what the answer is. Do you let some snakes loose and some snakes and cats loose in the apartment? Do you put a tent over the apartment? And then my thing is, I'm just thinking here, if you put a tent over the apartment, will the rats die in the wall? Then what does that look like? Because now you got to deal with the smell. Like, y'all have got to figure out something, and it's sad that the city is not putting more pressure on the landlords, because that building should be rendered inhabitable, and it should force the landlords to have to do something ASAP. With that being said, y'all, I'm finna get up off the line. I hope, they said the rent could be getting paid automatically through government assistance. And it's funny, after receiving more than 3 complaints about unlivable conditions, the government should stop paying. Like, I don't know a lot about Section 8, but I do know that they have a checklist of things you have to have done in order to live in the property. And if them things ain't done, they won't pay. Okay, because I've dealt with people that have been like, oh, my apartment didn't pass inspection from Section 8, so now I got to move. It would seem to me that whatever the housing program she's on, that rats would render the apartment unlivable, and the government should stop paying. Nevertheless, I hope, me helping spread a little bit of awareness about this situation definitely helps shame the landlord into doing something about this rat problem, and let our prayers be with this woman. Nevertheless, y'all, I didn't talk about housewives because I am going to do a whole separate housewife. I'm going to give y'all a review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I ain't finna promise y'all that I'm going to review the whole season, but I definitely enjoyed the first episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Shouts out to K. Michelle and Pinky Cole. New additions. I think they're great. And also, guys, I am liking a lot the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I am. I think for me and my reality TV, personally, I am bored with the 5, well-to-do Black women wearing labels, fussing and fighting. We've already seen 15 years of that. I'm not learning or seeing anything new. The only person that I know from Rhode Island is Claudia Jordan. And so I didn't have any type of impression of Rhode Island, and Rhode Island is giving me like a bougie cousin of New Jersey or whatever. And I'm kind of liking it because I'm learning something and being exposed to a new world. And it's the one lady that said she ran over a woman. I don't know her name. I find her to be so funny. She's like, yeah, I don't like driving. I ran over a woman. And they wanted more details. And she was like, well, yeah, I ran over a woman. And she just laughed. And it's like, she just has no idea how asinine that sounds coming out of her mouth. And then I love the fact that they're rich, but she was driving a Hyundai Elantra. And I'm like, yeah, see, there's something here. You know what I'm saying? They're Alicia. They say her name is Alicia. Alicia. I like Alicia a lot. She is reality TV gold. Somebody said they should put Claudia Jordan on. I would love to see Claudia slide through there, but I doubt Claudia even know any of them damn ladies. And I'm also not a fan of them just throwing a Black girl in the mix for the sake of diversity. I'm not a fan of that. Let it be them white girls. Let it just be them. Let it be them. Nevertheless, I'll bring y'all that Housewives video tomorrow, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.